Hello and welcome. So this is the one which I have already developed. So I need to add an image and text box here. So I'm going to add an image now. So how you can add an image is basically you just go to insert and then click on image. So I'm here. I need to select this image. So it will add an image here. Let me zoom out this one. And now clicking on the blank canvas, in the right side you have this filter format option. Click on that and here we have the page background. I'm going to select this and selecting this date, and it has to be, let it be transparency level to 80%. So it will just give a light yellow color to the background, and also this is fine. I need to add a text box. So insert, I have this text box and I can give it a name here. So rearranging this one, and net promoter score dashboard. So net promoter score board dashboard. So and then you need to select all the text, and then you can change the font size and text. And also I'm going to turn off this background, so it just gives me this name here. So resize this and slightly rearrange this. This is done. Now the next thing is I need to add one calculated column to this emoji table. So we have this emoji table, right? So right now it is just the serial number, score, and Unicode. So I need to click on this table and add a new column, and then I need to add a new measure. So let's give it a name. This I'm going to give it as emoji. Okay, emoji icon. So you can use the unicar is a DAX function, and then you can call the table column name. So emoji unicar. So close the bracket and commit. That's it. This is how simple it is. Now you can see for 0 to 6 it shows sorrow, and 7 to 8 it is and 9 to 10 it is smiley. So we have these emojis now. Cool. So after that, what we can do, we just need to add few parameters, right? So I'm going to use this slicer here from and add it into calendar, and in calendar I'm going to drag and drop this field into here, and I need this to be in betweens. So clicking on this drop down and let this be in betweens, that's good. And placing it on this area, minimizing this and give it an header. So let's go to format of this option slicer. It says the slicer header something, it has an issue with this. So clicking on this one, the slicer is responsive to return to header font of this original size, enlarge the slicer. So I need to enlarge that. Yeah, this font size, it is too much small here, so it is showing that way. So okay, so I have this date now. So let me change the headings to response date. Okay, and let's change the font here. I don't like the tint, to be frank. So if you want to change the font throughout your Power BI desktop file, current file, then you can go to view and clicking on this themes option, this drop down, and then click on customize current theme. If you do so, then it will open up this pop-up window. Here in the, if you want to change any kind of colors here, you can select that. But right now I'm just focused on the text. So selecting the general, I like this Sigoi. I'm going to keep the same thing. And for titles, I'm going to change this to be semi-bold. And for the cards also, I'm going to change here to be semi-bold. And for headers, I think it's the same thing. Yeah, that's fine. And for the cards, it's font 45. Okay, that's also fine. So if you look at here, the font right now, it's dim. So clicking apply, it's going to change the font here. Yeah, it's now the font is changed. So selecting this one, and then you can click on this one And also you can turn off the background. That's good. And if you want, you can add the borders. I'm going to add the borders now and expand this one and change the radius to 20. So you can see a curly brackets here at the end of this one. That looks good. That's fine. So resizing this one. Yeah, now it fits as per our requirement. Let's quickly copy and paste Control C and Control V. Let's add up a new one, and then I'm going to remove this date and I'm going to add other what do we say, other columns. So I'm going to add other like industry for an example. So and clicking on this small drop down and I'm going to select drop down. So let it be as a drop down. Now here in the format option you have this selection control. No, I'm going to use keep the same by default, and also the items is there, right? So items, and in the background I'm going to use this color so that this gives an easy way, responsive way for the end users to pick up items from here. Now the headings I need to change, so I need to click here. Instead of that, this is an industry. Okay, and rest everything is same. Resizing this, copy and paste again. Control C and Control V, and then let's see. Okay, now I'm going to change this from project is one, as we have the relationship between the country and country list. So I'm going to use the country name here. So let me add this here, country name, drag and drop, and remove this industry. So now go back and change the slider header, country. That's good. So copy and paste again, and then add survey type. So change the headings here, and then copy and paste again. And what else we have? The source type, I think. Yeah. So that's enough for now. So add the source type at the bottom here and close this one. Now we have this source type also. That's good. So enough of this one. Now the next thing is if adding a pie chart. You can copy and paste it directly over there. If not, you can also create a new one. So first thing I need to create an card visual. Clicking on the card now, and then I'm going to add that measure. So selecting this measure, drag and drop. Now it is showing in 121K. I don't like that. So going to format now and data label. Here you have the display units to auto. Instead of auto, I'm going to use to be none. So I'm going to selecting none here so that it converts everything into numbers. Now this looks like a plain number, right? It's hard to read. So selecting this measure, and if you go on the top ribbon, you have the measure tools. There you need to select the comma so that it will convert it into easy readable format. So now I have this 1,20,819 surveys so far. So I can just change the fonts now and size. So let it be 18 and resize this one and format options. What else? I have to remove the background and open the borders and change it to 20 radius, and also realign it at the bottom of this one and resize this. Now this looks like irregular, right? So select all these things and then go to format and align. You have distribute vertically. Phew. So still I'm not satisfied with this one. So I just change this now. Instead of just count, double click this one, you can change it to be count. Okay. So select everything as we did and go to format and align distribute vertically. Now this looks, yeah, good. So each and everything is sorted in proper way. Save this one. Yeah, don't forget to save whenever you work, because nobody knows when something goes bad may happen. Okay, be positive. Okay, then we need to add a donut visual. So I'm going to add a donut visual now, and give it a space between that and then zoom a bit now. And then I'm going to add the just count into the value section, and it is, I think, by survey type, not by survey source type, sorry. So source type, drag and drop here, close this one. So basically I have these three source type. One is online, telephonic, and email. So mostly is from online. This is the kind of information we can provide them. And go to format now, turn off the background, turn on the border, expand this one, change the radius to 20. And now we have the same look and feel. And selecting this one, you need to change the title instead of just count. That's not good actually. So count of survey result by source type. Okay, so now you can copy this, paste again to the right side. Yeah, and then what we can add here, let me check here, is by survey type. So here I'm going to use the survey type and remove the source type, and also you can change the title here, count of survey results by survey type. Okay, and now we have this, and it is really something hard to read, so I'm going to change this into this one, stacked column chart. Sorry, I'm going to use this one, stacked column chart. Yeah, and then what we need to do here, we need to add emojis here. So emojis, basically we have a separate table, so I'm going to expand that and I'm going to use the emoji com. It's actually, I use emoji icon, right? So emoji icon, let me rename this one. So drag and drop that emoji icon into the legend. Now you can see these legends are here. So basically the good sign is we need to make it in a proper coloring, right? So what we need to do is go back to format options and then expand this one, the legend, and sorry, not the legend, the data colors. And here we need to change the colors here. Now this is for passivers. It can be as plain as yellow. That doesn't matter. And for the worst thing, we can use the red color, and for the good thing, we need to use the green one. Ideally, we don't have right now. Let me copy it from the previous one. So go back again, go to this format option, check the data colors, copy it from the green, select this one, select more colors, and then you need to copy it from here, Control C, go back again to this one, select the smiley and more colors, paste that one. That's it. Now you need the data labels to be enabled. So enable this data label here and you can see the values here. Right now, this is giving us a false information that everything has 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. That's not correct. Why? The reason is you need to go to modeling now and manage relationship. Have we created any relationship between the emoji table and NPS? No, not yet. So you need to click on new and then you need to select emoji table and select the score. I think this is the one. And then you need to click on NPS table and let's check here. If we don't have anything which is matching to this one, that's really strange. Actually, sorry, I forgot about that. So let's go back to Power Query. Actually, not to Power Query. There is an best feature available in Power BI Desktop here itself. So what we can do, we can just select the column survey result. Let me zoom this. Here is the option survey result and click on this three dot icon and then click on new group. This will just group everything whatever we need. And here the groups here, the survey name result bins. The field is survey result, which is the column name, and the group type is bin or list. Here in this video, I need the list, and I made a separate video about the groups in data groups in Power BI. If you want to see it, that actually that's a good feature. You have to see that. Just check out that description in the video. Link in the description of this video. Now what I need to do here, I need to select the 9 and 10 logically to be the good thing. So select 9 and control and then select 10 group. So it will create a new group for 9 and 10. Select 7, select 8, control with the control and click on group. So 7 and 8 is a separate thing. Now whatever it has, it should be others. So here is the one contains all ungrouped values, it's others. So double click this one, change this to 0 to 6. This is how we have described. Okay, so the other is basically it has taken by Power BI itself. No need to worry about that. So click on OK. Now let's go to Power BI data tab. So here you have one additional column added here as survey result. What is the column name? As survey result group. Yeah. So selecting this column, now you have this result, right? Let me zoom this one. So survey result group. If I click on here, I have only three data 0 to 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Cool. So this is the column which we need to use for emojis relationship. Here also we have the same 0 to 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. Now let's go to manage relationship and create new one. And then here you need to select emoji table to be score and then select the NPS, go to the right side, select the last column, survey result groups. And here is also the same one to many, single, make this active, click on OK. And then it is added here, score. Yeah. So close now. Now just stay tuned. I want to show you quickly one thing. Here you see 15,000, 15,000, right? Yeah. Now it's changed. So now you clearly understand if there is something wrong in the visualization, then one of the reason is because of the relationship. Okay, that's cool. So I have this now. Let me zoom out this. Now survey result by industry and then by country. So copy this and paste and then realign this one a bit here. Yeah. So giving a space between each and every visuals is a must so that it will be clearly, easily readable and eye-catching. So now instead of survey type, I'm going to use what is the one industry. Yeah, by industry, I'm going to use it on the x-axis, remove this survey type and change this one to use this one 100% stacked bar chart. If you do so, now this gives me this one and it gives me information about these industries has done how many things here. Now if you have noticed, it is being sorted to this one like passivers. Let me zoom this. Here it is being sorted to this one passivers and then detractors and then promoters also here, but that's not the correct way, right? Because it is the column emoji column is not being sorted to the serial number. So you need to select the emoji column, emoji icon, and then go to column tools on the ribbon and then sort column by serial number. So if you do so, now this is going to change now. See, the first it shows detractors and passivers and then promoters. That's good. So here also the same detractors, passivers and promoters. Now you can easily understand how the data shows up here. That's a good thing. So this is also fine. Let me zoom out this and then copy and paste again to the right side and then realign accordingly. And then you need to click on the country from the country list. the country name to be on the x-axis, close this one, and also I don't need the legend here, it's just a plain one, and then you need to change this to a map. I just need to have this country name and just the size. You can also use the field map. I think that's a good thing so that it will fill the colors here. And also I need to have this to fill by the source type, because where, so I'm going to add the source type into legend, then only I can find the colors of this one. So how many of them has email, how many of them has online, how many of them has telephonic. So it is changing the colors. Right now you can see it here, the mail is almost everywhere and online is also there and telephonic also somewhere. That's good. Okay, let me zoom out this and good. I think we have completed the first page. Yeah, successfully we have done that. Now the second page. Now there is one thing which we need to do here is basically we have given the emoji icons here, but the user may not understand what it actually means. So we need to give them a legend, right? So I'm going to add a new matrix table and then add emoji icons to the columns and then the score on the values. It can be reversed actually. So let me reverse this one. Columns in score, emojis in the values, and go to format and then go to subtotals and turn off column subtotal. That's it. Now format this one again and turn off the background. And if you enable this grid, you have this vertical grid to be turned on. And now that's enough, I think. So you can readjust this one and push it to the right side. And also the style, if you change from default to none, then whatever the background it has, it will be washed away. So let me turn on the vertical grid and change the colors to be a bit darker. This is not enough. Let me change this. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, this one I need to enable and selecting this one. So let me turn off the horizontal grid. It doesn't look nice. Yeah, now this looks okay. So 0 to 6 is for this symbol and 7 to 8 is for this symbol and 9 to 10 is for this symbol. Even though this looks small, but if the people look in a broader dashboard in a big monitor, they can easily see that. Okay, now moving on to the next. If you want to rename the sheet, you can double click here or right click here and then rename the page. Rename. Okay, click on the plus sign to add a new page and doing everything back again. That's also possible. Or else I'm going to duplicate the existing page now because I don't want to format the background and or the image and the headings. Right, let me right click this table and I mean this page, right click, duplicate this page. It's going to add a new page now and rename this to page 2 or survey type. Okay, now select everything, all this 4 1. I don't need only these 4, rest everything I need to reuse that, so let it be. Okay, now it's good to build the first thing first. Let's build this one. Okay, here it has involved a lot of calculations inside to that. So I'm going to select first the overall. Okay, so now here what I have done, let's first understand with the existing one. Okay, the first thing I have done here is I have added a variable declaration that NPS equal to just count. Just count is already a measure which we have created. It's just the count of um, the response result, and then it's being captured in a variable NPS, and I'm going to declare NPS all. It's basically I'm going to use the calculate function If I just open the calculate, it is asking me for to use any kind of measures now. So this is the measure, I'm recalling it again, and then using filters. So here expressions and then filters, right? So right now it's in filter, all selected NPS, which means whatever the value is being selected to the NPS table, it will collect everything. So all selected. So if I filter in the industry, if I filter in the source type, if I filter in the country type, or if I filter in the response date. So whatever I have selected, it will select everything, all this value, and it will filter accordingly. And then I'm going to add a new filter, which is adding a group by. So whatever the value is being produced, and it's basically it is going to create a view, right? It's going to generate a script. So inside to that is going to group that result into survey type. So it's going to filter whatever I have selected, and then it is going to group it by survey type. Okay, so what I have got here is that result. So that I'm being captured in NPS all. And at the last, what I'm taking it here is divide the NPS with NPS all function, right? So basically, this will go for an example. For example, if I have this 10 in the detractors and overall result is 100, then it's going to divide this 10 comma 100, right? That's what we are going to get. For example, if I'm going to get the result of 10 here, and here it is basically, for an example, 100, then it's going to divide this one 10 divided by 100. That's what the result will come up here. Okay, so it's basically it will give 10% of the value. That's the result it's going to produce now. Okay, so let this be a separate measure, and now let's add the same thing into our dashboard. So I have explained to you now, right? So I'm going to copy and paste this same thing into my new dashboard. So going here, selecting this NPS table, new measure, and then copy and paste here, and this is too big, right? Okay, commit now. This is fine. So now the next thing I need to use is the NPS survey type. This is where you need to understand in detail and slowly. So I'm trying to give as much as slow as possible. So let's have understand. So now here the NPS survey type, because this is being calculated based on the survey type, not based on country, not based on source type, not based on business unit. So that I am given the name as NPS survey type. Now we have added a variable declaration. It's all selected. It's all selected, right? So it's all selected is nothing but I'm going to use the calculate just count, which is the count of the result, and all selected NPS table and then group by survey type. This is what we are discussed just right in our previous measure. So and then we need to use the detractors. So detractors is nothing but I'm going to use the calculate function and then the measure, which is just count, and then I'm going to use the group by of survey type and all emoji table. So what I'm doing it here, it's I'm going to use the group by here by survey type, and then whatever the result it comes, I'm going to remove the filter in the emoji table. All emoji table, it means it's going to remove all the filter from emoji table, and then I have applied a new filter. Emoji table should be only detractors. This is the emoji symbol I have given because it's easy to understand for the end user, right? So I have used this one. So what it will do, it will just calculate the detractors from the whole result. In like if you take a previous example, if all selected for an example is 100, and out of that the detractors should be alone 10%. I mean 10 result. So the detractors is only 10, so it's showing up here. Now we need to use the detractor percentage because as we have seen in the theory, that this overall is calculated by percentage. So the detractor percentage should be the detractors and all selected. So here in this case, what is 10 divided by 100? So it's going to be 10%. And now the same thing applies for the promoters. So the promoters now it's calculated, everything is same. Calculate this just count and group by survey type and remove everything from emoji table, whatever the filter it has, and the emoji type is alone change here to smiley. So that's or those are all the promoters. So the same thing applies. For an example, if the promoters here is 50, right? Okay, 70, let it be 70. Okay, so here what we need to do here is 70 divided by 100. This is why it is being in promoters percentage. Okay, so now this divide gives as a result of 70 and this divide gives as a result of 10. Now here the last declaration is variable minus means promoter minus detractors. We are not considering the passwords here because that's how the calculation is. So 70 minus 10 is gives as 60. So I'm using the return function because whenever we are using the variable declaration, we have to use the return and then I'm returning this minus. So this is going to return as 60 for an example, right? In our case, it's going to return the 60 value. Click commit. So this is all about the NPS survey type. This is the mean based calculations. So if you haven't get the point what I have done here, please watch it one more time. You can, I'm sure you will easily understand that. So copying this everything, selecting this one, and I'm in the new report now. So new measure, copy and paste. Paste here. Let me zoom out this. As this table doesn't have the name of emoji table, instead of that I have just emoji. So I need to remove this emoji from here. Okay, now even I don't have emoji table, right? So it's giving emoji, and actually I have emoji icon, the column name. So I need to change that also. Emoji icon, and if I remove this emoji icon, yeah, that's good. Okay, so now I have everything in place. Okay, now save. So I have this NPS type and just count and overall. So everything is in percentage. So you need to select this measure and click on this sub percentage. So let this NPS to be in 2 digit. By default, it's going to be in 2 digit itself. Whereas for the overall, I don't need in 2 digit after converting it into percentage. So I am changing this 2 to 0. Okay, now let's go back to the old file. Okay, in this one, I have used only these three things. That's enough. Now, I have used this measure, this chart, line and clustered column chart. Okay, so now let's add this one, line and clustered column chart. Realign this one. Okay, go to this format of this one. You need to add some field. Okay, okay. So basically, this is by survey type, right? So I'm going to add the survey type here to the shared axis and just count into the column values. I think this count I have not formatted. Yeah, I have already formatted this one. That's good enough. And then now I need to add what? Okay, so this is basically in the small multiple, the survey type, and then the emoji should come up here. Yes, in the shared axis so that we can understand which is detractors, passwords, and promoters. Okay, now we have these options, and then we need to add the overall as the line values. This is the overall picture, and also the NPS survey type in below to that. Okay, so now let me close this and sort this small multiples by sort axis. Actually, I need this sort to be descending order. sorry, I need to be, let it be in ascending itself, and I need the sort multiples here, right? So it should be by just count. Okay, so now this is the small multiples I have used here, and they have added recently, not long back, but recently, and they have given a lots of update to that. So I'm going to use that and go to this format options and then go to this background, turn off, enable the border, and then add the radius to 20 because that's the theme we are used. So we need to apply the same logic here. Okay, got it. So here I don't need any kind of x and y axis. So turn off that. Okay, cool. So I need the x y axis actually, and also the x axis, but not the names. So I need to turn on this one, and then I need to turn off the headings. So I'm going to turn off this x axis, and let me increase the font size to be 15. Okay, now I can see the emoji icons here. Let it be 18. Okay, got it. So going to this y-axis now and just turn off the titles. Yeah, now everything looks good. Okay, good. So far so good. And now I need to turn on the data labels. So in the format option, I have this data label. So selecting this, it's just look too much, how to say, compiling to each other. So explain, open this one and then scroll down, customize series to be turned on. And then what I need to do is I need to turn off this to which one? Just count, right? For NPS survey type, just count, let it be show the value. NPS survey type, I don't need the value, so I'm just show to be off. So I can see the numbers and the percentage of it. I don't need the NPS value. That's good. Okay, now we have these survey types here, and if you want, we can reduce it and number of small multiples here. So if you just open the grid layout here, I have this 2 row and 2 columns. So if I change it to be 3, so it's showing up in 3 columns and 2 rows. This looks good actually. Okay, so now we have this count and about the ratings. So here in the values, I have this 12%, 1800 of detractors, and passivers is 32% and 55 is the promoters. So out of that, I can say 42% is the value, overall the value rating is 42%. That's below the mark. So we have discussed is about 60, right? So 60 is a benchmark. For communication, they are given just passivers. For industry expert, what result is how much they have given 49.14 is also low, and for quality is also low, and overall satisfaction is 52. That's the highest which we have received so far. Okay, here is 51. Yeah, overall satisfaction they are okay. That's 52%. And also I said it depends on the industry and everything, right? That we need to keep in mind. Okay, so we have this everything now, and if we just compare this with my old one, this is the one. So I have these background colors for this. How I have brought up here is ideally I have created one measures to that. So that measure here is basically, so NPS color. If NPS survey type, that's what we have used, is greater than zero point 0.5, I have used. I have not used zero point 0.6 here because there is no value available beyond zero point 0.6. That is above 60%. So everything is above 50 and below 60. So I have used 50 here just in case of this example. So if it is below 50%, greater than 50%, then this is the green code, hex code, and if not, then here's the one. If else is right. If false, then I'm going to use one more if function. If it is less than 40, then it should be red, and or else it should be yellow. This is what I used. I'm just copying this one and adding it into a new table. So new measure in a new report. And then I'm going to add up here. Come on. So add up here and commit now. So it is added here. Now close this one and select this chart and go to format option. And what you have here, just expand the grid layout. Here you have an option like rows and columns. Just what we have changed, 2 rows and 3 columns. And below to that you have background color. If you want to set a static one, you can select from here. If you want to make a light thing, which I did, you need to click on FX icon. It will open up a window. Here, the background color grid layout, the color scale, rows of field value. Here I need to use the field value. And based on field is the one measure which we have created, it's NPS color. So rest everything, if you see, it's not selecting. I can't able to select that. This is the one I can able to select and then click on OK and let's see the magic. Boom! I have these color figures and everything. So let me zoom out this. So if this looks contrast to you, then you can change the transparency level to whatever feasible to you. I'm going to use 20 for now. Okay, now for me this blue looks too much contrast, so selecting this and enable this data color, and here we have this default color of this one ideally. So the line is okay for me, that's orange, and this is also okay for me overall, and this I'm going to change from this color to white. Yeah, this looks good for me. Yeah, it also depends on the business theme and what you need to select. Okay, so this is what we have selected. Now you can see for these duration, and we have not select any of these values here, and this is the overall figure. Okay, this is cool what we have done now. So for an example, as everything depend on the survey type, so either we can keep the survey type here, or you can just drag and drop the survey type from here to this location, and you need to turn off this one border, and also you need to turn on the slicer header, and then you need to just realign this. So user can select any of the survey type from here. Oh, I have used a different one. Okay, no issues. If you select any of the value from here, it's going to filter that and show you the result accordingly. That's cool. So even if you are going to change the time durations, also it is going to change that values during that time. Yeah, you can see the value, and industry expert is turned to green if we reduce the duration. It means the recent surveys has a good result when compared to previous one. That's what we are going to see in this next one. Is basically now I have these legends here and everything in place. You can realign and however you require. Now moving on to the old file and moving on to this is just a table which I have added here. It's nothing but survey type and NPS score, which gives us the scores in a tabular format. If you want to do so, then you can click on the table icon here and then drag and drop these two columns inside to that. That's it. Moving on to the next one, time. Okay, so everything is fine. So let's copy the same thing. And what I have used here is the line chart. Okay, so moving on to the new file and right click this one. Right click the first and then duplicate, and then we can select all the four visuals here, delete. Make sure you, whenever you press the delete key in your keyboard, you have selected any of the visuals. So change the name to time. So everything is now good. And then you need to use one measure. So what measure I have used here? One is NPS time and NPS time same period last year. So basically the difference between NPS time and NPS survey time is there, right? So NPS time, what I have done here is they will declare a variable all selected and then the just count. It will consider everything and it will give you the result. That's it. And the detractor is same what we had done last measure. It's just a calculate of the just count and then group by survey type and filter all the emoji tables, and it should be detractors. And then minusing these two values, and that's we'll get the detractor percentage. And the same thing applies here. The promoters is just a change of these emojis, and then apply the same logic to get the promoter percentage, and then minus the promoter and detractors, we are going to get the result of the NPS. So this is what about NPS time. Let me copy this and create in this new one. So clicking on this one and new measure, and then add paste here. I know I don't have this name exactly, so renaming this emoji and this to be emoji icon, deleting this one, and same applies here, emoji icon equal to, and this to be just emoji. Okay, cool. So commit now. A new measure is added here. Let's go back to this old one again to see the NPS time same period last year. So if you look at this measure, is nothing much. I just used whatever it is there in NPS time and just added a filter. The filter is same period last year from the calendar date table. That's it. How simple is this? So copying that, adding it into this new file, new measure, paste here. So NPS time same period last year. So that's actually the name of the measure, name of the tax calculations, and I used here same period last year. So close this one, add this new one line chart, okay, and realign this one. Okay, in the axis, logically I need the date, so this should comes from the month and year from the calendar table. Okay, and the value should be just the count. It should comes in the value section. Yeah, it gives me that values here, and this should be sorted by ascending one, and the ascending should be sorted by the month and year because we are using that. So this is how the result which we got. Okay, and now is the time to use the NPS time. Sorry, instead of the just count, I need to use the NPS time. So this NPS time is basically the percentage, right? So I just need to change this to percentage now. So this is changed to percentage and let it be 2 digit. Okay, the same applies to the same period last year. Selecting this and converting it into percentage and add this into the values now, both of them. So NPS added here and NPS same period last year also. So this is what the value I have. Now, if you look at this one, yeah, this is what I want to show you initially. So this is April 17, April 18, April 19, April 20, and then August. But this is not we need actually. It has to be sort from Jan, Feb, March, and April, right? So that's what I was talking about. We need to create one more column. So if you look at into this calendar table, and I have this only this one. So for that, I need to add one more column into this DAX table. So I'm going to add one more row, shift enter and comma, and then this should be year, month, NR, number, double quote, comma, and the format of this date should be YYYY and then MM, 4 digit of year and 2 digit of month. This is what I need and enter. So now you can see this Power BI will convert this Jan for 01 and 10 for October. So here I can see 2018 Jan, and let me scroll down till October here. Yeah, November I can see everything should be in 6 digit. That's the beauty. Now you need to select this column here, and in the top column tool select the column and sort it by year, month, number. This Power BI will sort this column accordingly. So if I change it to something else, like for an example, if I want this Power BI to sort it by date, because that's the base one which we are using, right? It will not. it will give you a message. So what is the message is sort by another column. We cannot sort the month year column by date. There can't be more than one value in date for the same value in month year. Please choose a different column for sorting or update the data in date. The reason is here you can see the Jan 8, Jan 8, Jan 8, Jan 8, 18, Jan 18, Jan 18 is there. But here you have the unique record, but here you can see duplicate. If you, whatever the value you have here, it should be here, and both of them should change at a time. It should not be like it has a different value and it has a different value. While we have created this one, we just scroll down till Jan, it's going to use this one, and February it's going to change this one. So now Power BI understands we need to sort this and this, so it is agreeing to sort this column by this column. Okay, now if you just go back again, now you can see this value is being sorted from, let me zoom this, April, May, June, July, August. So this is perfectly fine, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So I have not done anything else. I just create one column and then added it to be sorted by column. That's it. Rest of the things has done by Power BI itself. That's the beauty. Now I have these values. Let me change these to come from the year 2020, current year. So adding to this one, June, March is going up, right? So let me put down October, November, December, and January 2020. Okay. So right now I have this from December 2019 to July 2020, just the data. Okay. So if you see here, let me take an example of 2018 itself. Okay. Just I want to show you one thing. Okay, so here if you see 36 percentage is for, let me change the color first because I myself is not able to understand. So in the data class of this format option, you have the NPS time and NPS time previous year. I want the previous year should be gray. That's already gone, right? And the current year should be dark one. Okay, let it be this one for now. Okay, so if you scroll down here, I mean mouse over here, so the last year is 31.47 and this year is 36.50. This is June 2020. So if I select for the June 2019, here 31.47. Here it gives 34.95 and 24.43 for previous year. Sorry. So if you see here, it's 31.47 for July 2020 and 36.5 for current year. So 31.47 for previous year, July 2020. If I change to July 2019, this gives me 31.47 for current year and 26.22 for last year. It means the calculation is done perfectly fine. So the line here is reaching out to this one. So the same period last year is working perfectly fine. If you want to visualize this data, let me minimize this and copy and paste here itself and then change this to into a table. So now you can easily understand the data structure here. So here it's by December, Jan 19. So let's take an example about July 2020 is 36.5 and 31.47. So July 29 is 31.47. That's right? That's cool. I'm going to select this one and remove this visual. Now let me zoom this again, its position, and change this to, I think it's by survey type. Okay. So I need to add the survey type here, the survey type to be in small multiple. So it automatically does the job and it's being sorted here, and the format is want to change the grid layout. I can increase the rows and increase the columns. Okay, this is fine. So you can easily understand. Okay, so you can easily understand now how this value is being done. Okay, I think let it be 3 rows and 2 columns. Yeah, this looks good actually because of this column ranging what we have done here. So on an overall perspective, the survey result is being good when compared to previous years. Only here slightly during the month of February 2019 and 18 we had that issue, but everything looks good when compared to the previous year's data. And what I have done additionally here, it's just the line. So if you go to this analytics tab of this line chart, you can see lots of options here. I'm going to open this y-axis constant line and add a line. Click on that. Either I can use a dynamic way, which is recently added, so you can use that, or you can use the static one. Here in this example, I'm going to use the static one that should be 60 for my case, and then this should be, click on somewhere else, it's going to add a new line. Basically it should not be 60, it should be 0.6 if I done it right way. Yeah, now you can see the lines here for each and every graph that it's the standard. If it is above standard, then we are performing well. So overall satisfaction is good. Now that's what we can say here. Okay, and if you want to enable this data label, you can also do that here, data label. And also we have this option to customize that into display unit, and decimal place should be 0 for me. Okay, now zoom out. Now you can see 60 is the standard, and this is an overall performance for us, and these are the things. Now the final touch here is just turn off the background and turn on the borders and change the radius to 20. That's it. Now we have these figures also. I don't need, let me close this. I don't need the emojis here for this now, so you can select and delete this one. Okay, cool. So this is all about the net promoters scorecard. If you like this video, just click on the big thumbs up button, because it has done a lot of effort for me to develop this dashboard. Okay, and if you want me to do like this kind of stuff, please comment your comments in the comment section below. If you're new to this channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, just click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get the latest notifications. But make sure you turn on the notification on your devices. Share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any queries and feedback, just post it on the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Keep learning. See you in the next video.